All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Dark, Season 1, Episode 2. That's not Miko.
That is not Miko. No.
Then who is it? Where did they come from? When did they come from? What's the deal with all these other things that are going on? What was in the letter?
What is Eric doing in that place?
Right. What is that place?
Wallpaper?
Why did the dad say that, it's going to happen again? Yeah, so many questions.
So many questions.
Yep.
We have been set up with a proper mystery box, and yet because of the way that the show's intro began, I feel like I have a pretty good boundary line of where things aren't going to go.
Exactly.
I'm like, all right, we're going to do some timey-wimey shenanigans. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some generational stuff here.
Yep.
We've got clearly a thing that has been repeating. Mm-hmm. The oldest people in this town are going to have all the perspective, so we need to interview them right now.
And maybe their big problem right now is that they have too much perspective, and it's a bit too much to understand within a single temporal perspective.
Right. But it's probably something to do with living basically multiple timelines. Same timeline.
The same timeline multiple
from
times,
different times.
But not multiple timelines.
Right.
Because that is probably not happening.
Then it wouldn't be trackable necessarily. Because these people would be in one universe, basically trying to keep track of things here. Well, basically, we have to figure out what are going to be the rules of this world's time shenanigans, travel, what have you.
Because we've got a dark cave, we've got a nuclear power plant, and we've got a dead kid.
Yeah, we've got all the makings for the proper, creepy, mystery, why done it in a small in a small town.
Right.
It's perfectly set up. We've got a lovely cast of characters, almost like we're going into like an Agatha Christie, kind of thing here. Like and they've all got their secrets and they've all got their ways in which their families are connected and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to peel back the layers here.
Yeah.
But we got a very convenient thing passed along to us by our fans. Thank you so much for this. Apparently Netflix put into their I guess site or what have you a episode by episode character guide tree so that we can follow along with the info given to us after the end of every episode. We can update it episode by episode. This is so helpful. Yeah. It's the kind of thing where it'll at the very least give us that we'll never get mixed up as to
whose family or whatever.
Family, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's going to be really nice.
Very helpful.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of characters in here, and then when you take time shenanigans and layer that on top of it,
it can get even weirder.
So all right, we're ready.
I'm
ready.
very ready. I have a lot of theories. I have a lot of specific things I feel like they're going to lean into. But I want to see this from the perspective of the people treating this like a simple abduction mystery, then turning it into a thing where their suspicions of each other boil forth into actual character drama.
You got to get the regular Agatha Christie novel before you then take Agatha Christie and mash it up with House of Leaves or something.
Right, because nobody's dead. Well,
somebody is.
One person,
but we don't know who that is.
Well, no, we know one person is dead as well before this story even began.
Right. Well,
and in a lot of ways,
they disappeared. Something happened to them. We don't necessarily know.
The dad. The very beginning of the fucking series, Jacob.
Maybe he just
listen to what I'm saying here, and it'll make sense. The idea that they died at the very beginning in a time shenanigan story means that their death is actually extremely important.
Right.
And
and here I thought he was talking about the brother of Ulrich. So it's there's so many different things already set up of we don't know what's going on, and I'm sure that's going to just get wider and wider and open up even more as we go.
Other,
So an app, very helpful. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Starting with looking at this, nice.
Yeah.
9 hours.
Okay.
Oh, we're counting the hours here. Yep. Classic.
What?
Massive manhunt. Yep. The sounds are proper creepy here. Oops.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a bit harder to explain. Like, dreaming about your dead dad, that makes total sense.
Right.
This...
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Wake up. You might still be dreaming.
Yeah. Oh god, and it's not even blood. It's like oil or something. No.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Dials the number of the therapist immediately.
I mean, this is at the point you need the pills, man. Like.
Yeah.
Anzeichen von sexuellem Missbrauch, kein Sperma, keine fremde DNA. Ach so, ja, eine Sache ist seltsam. Schau mal hier. Neben den Verbrennungen sind die Gehörgänge völlig zerstört.
Ear canals are destroyed.
Oh.
Wait.
Okay.
What?
Eine Lautstärke?
Ja. Oder Druck, ausgelöst durch einen Sturz.
Okay.
Oh.
Wenn der
Okay.
Körper rotiert, da verlieren wir das Gleichgewicht. Und bei diesem Jungen hier ist kein Steinchen mehr da, wo es hingehört.
Whoa. I love the creepy factor here. It's like I feel like I can follow then the kinds of ways that this kid could have died. But also for going for, some potential like time things and stuff. Like we
Right.
don't know like what the travel might do to a body. But it feels too like executionary to have the eyes burned out. you
Right.
know? That feels like you're trying to destroy someone's like identity from like making them unrecognizable.
Right, like... Oh.
Okay. Bro.
Be careful now.
Yeah. This is boy,
Oh, of course.
Don't get lost though, like.
Yeah, like have a line going back to the entrance.
Oh, and so it connects to
All right.
the nuclear power plant. Yeah. Spot where the therapist walks. Oh.
Hello.
Hey.
Was hast du da oben gemacht?
Oh, bist du bescheuert?
Oh, yeah,
Ich will wissen, was du da oben gemacht
they really like each other then.
Ich habe euch in der Schule gehört, wie ihr über die Höhlen geredet habt. Und Eriks Drogen.
Right, because she wasn't supposed to be there. Okay.
Yeah.
Keine Ahnung, was ich gedacht habe.
Now, will you let go of me, please?
Wait, so were they supposed to meet up here? Like.
No, I think he was just waiting for her.
Wollte die Berliner Polizei zum jetzigen Zeitpunkt unkommentiert lassen.
Shit. So is it that it's his kid potentially, and like.
I don't know. I think it might just be hitting him extra hard.
Ich weiß gar nicht, was ich sagen soll. Sollen wir...
Okay.
Well, that's worrying. Oh,
What?
bro.
Konnte Ulrich nicht erreichen. Sollten wir nicht zu den Kindern?
Die haben mehrere Suchtrupps organisiert. Ich muss los.
What's that on your head?
Nacht.
Oh.
Ich bin aufgewacht gegen Mitternacht. Du warst nicht da.
And also, big hooded jacket.
Yeah.
Büsche winterfest gemacht.
Das Auto war auch weg.
Die Schnur war alle. Ich musste kurz zur Tankstelle.
Not looking at her.
Geht weiter.
Dein Vater war 15. Und Mats war 3 Jahre jünger.
Also around the same age.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Mikkel hat gesagt, er findet es am schlimmsten. Wenn man nicht gefunden wird.
Mikkel kommt zurück. Ganz bestimmt.
Let's hope so, right?
Yeah. I love how everybody's really reeling from this.
Der tote Junge ist weder Mikkel noch Erik.
Das Kind ist entstellt, die Augenpartie völlig verbrannt.
An seiner Kleidung ist überall rote Erde, aber nirgendwo bei der Fundstelle. Außerdem sieht es so aus, als hätte jemand den Jungen Sachen aus den 80ern gekriegt.
Yeah, okay, fun.
Damn.
Auch 80er. Um den Hals haben wir das hier gefunden. Eine rote Kordel mit einem Pfennig aus dem Jahr 1986.
The lyrics too.
Yeah.
Und Mikkel und Erik? Wöller koordiniert die Suche. Vorerst geben wir nichts über den Fund der Leiche an die Öffentlichkeit.
Ja, ja.
Eine Tür mitten in der Höhle. Die führt auf das Gelände vom Kernkraftwerk. Wir brauchen einen Durchsuchungsbefehl. Vielleicht ist Mikkel da durch.
Ja.
Komplett abgelaufen. Nirgends eine beschädigte Stelle.
Du glaubst es doch auch, oder? Dass das alles zusammenhängt. Der tote Junge Erik Mikkel. Vielleicht hattest du recht. Es ist genauso wie damals.
You were right back then.
Nimm dir mal Kaffee. Da oben stimmt was nicht, das weiß ich.
Okay. Ich beantrage den Durchsuchungsbefehl.
Cool.
Cool.
Wow. Yeah, we're really building up the ominous side of things with regards to the potential, like, weird technology that leads to it.
Heute noch verschwinden, Jürgen.
Okay.
Noch heute Nacht.
What?
Die werden hier überall rumschnüffeln.
What?
Is this inside the plant?
I think so, yeah.
Weißt du, was erfolgreiche von erfolglosen Menschen unterscheidet?
Oh.
Eben. Also heute Nacht. Und du redest mit niemandem. Verstanden?
I recognize this actor, though, for Jürgen here.
And isn't that guy the husband of the hotel lady?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, hence we're cutting over to here now. Yeah, yeah. What? The sounds, too.
Können wir höflich sein?
Ich brauche ein Zimmer.
I'm trying to do the mental calculus of like, could that be another character, but from a different time, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we're going back up here.
And he's not getting closure.
Yeah.
This keeps getting drudged up. And nobody's touched it, it seems. Yeah, these paintings. Guy was going through it. Whoa.
Okay.
Okay, he's doing that stuff. All right, fun. Some Mobius strips or something similar. Ah. He's ashamed of that one. He had painted over something.
Right.
Meaning like whatever was underneath.
But then also, was that like the most recent one?
I'm not sure.
Die ganze Stadt ist auf den Beinen. Wir werden ihn finden.
Vielleicht. Vielleicht auch nicht.
You don't really seem too happy about this, though, but... Did he pocket something that he found? And because somebody else would have seen him do it, so...
Yeah, he didn't, like, get down to pick anything up.
So maybe he's just taking notes or something?
Yeah, there's something that feels maybe relevant that he's...
Oh.
What
she saw, you know? Fun!
Okay, all right.
So someone came through the portal or whatever. And...
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And that is not a modern gun.
No. Yeah, it's definitely the dad. Well, wait. Oh my god.
Oh, no. what's in here. Box within a box.
Probably because it looks too... What?
Okay.
That a time machine?
For an Enigma machine?
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny. Did they say on there, like, year to infinity?
Yeah, basically I'm guessing
Yeah.
they don't, hoping he's not dead kind of a thing, but.
Right. It's just funny to have.
Yeah.
Ulrich, ich bin Charlotte. Alexander hat den Erlass für den Durchsuchungsbefehl sofort blockiert.
Immediately.
Gerade mit dem Richter. Ruf mich bitte sofort an, wenn du das musst.
Okay.
Fun. So we've got a clear antagonist potentially.
Yeah.
With the manager or head, director of the.
Fun.
Oh. I just couldn't imagine what I'd feel if I was like, like one of my younger brothers was taken.
Yep.
Like
and specifically like on a thing that you were kind of spearheading.
Right. And then the idea that you would potentially like suspect people that would show up, oddly.
Oh, sure. And then also just the fact that he wasn't with him when they ran.
Right. Jeez.
No.
Oh, it's a secret.
Yeah.
Nice. This isn't that kind of story. We're not gonna have something jump out at him. This is a discovery kind of thing here. Yeah. Ooh, a map?
What we got? Or maybe some paintings that he didn't want anyone to see.
Oh, he stitched these together.
Oh,
this is cool.
Take a picture immediately.
So the tunnels with the cave and everything, maybe?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Werden wir je in der Lage sein, durch ein schwarzes Loch zu reisen und zu schauen, was dahinter liegt? Und Preis würden wir bezahlen. Wie weit wird die Wissenschaft gehen?
So in experiments potentially to see what goes
Yeah,
through a black hole.
to see into the future.
Absolutely shredding kids.
Yeah.
To potentially send them through time.
Right.
Wieder mit dem Durchsuchungsbefehl! Und da wirst du dieses verschissene Tor aufmachen!
Oh.
Du Arschloch! Mach auf!
Tut mir leid, Ulrich. Wirklich.
Mach auf, Mensch!
What a psycho.
Oh. Wait.
Oh, shit.
No.
Only 3 attempts?
Oh my god, okay.
But only 3 attempts, so had someone else been, like, trying to get into it?
No, a lot of those were only 3 attempts back in the day.
Okay.
So hier.
Es tut mir so leid.
Just to comfort him.
He's not in the mood.
Kannst du das bitte?
Yeah.
Bitte.
Like, yeah.
Ich ruf dich an, okay?
All right.
All right, Jonas. Let's look real closely at this.
Yeah.
Damn, it's all in German.
We can't track with it.
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Okay.
fun. Ah, so you have the coin out and it like pulls you towards the space potentially.
Maybe.
That then warps you or portals you.
PKW unbestimmt, unbestimmt.
Ah, the car.
Transporter. Oben drauf hat einen kleinen Transporter.
The old guy. Remember he said his car was... Oh no.
Oh shit. That's our guy.
Yeah, potentially.
Heißt, er hat Zugang zum AKW.
Ich denke schon.
Und gestern Nacht war der da auch im AKW?
Keine Ahnung. Ich habe noch nicht mit ihm gesprochen.
Okay.
I know where he lives though. Well, here we go. But the guy said to take care of this tonight, so...
Yeah, so I don't think he'll be here.
Yeah, he might not.
Although maybe that'll mean that there'll... Well, it's raining. There won't be any discernible tracks, but...
Oh, there's something about rain just providing this constant ambient sound.
Right, where it's like something could sneak up on you and you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, the van's there.
But I saw tires on the ground, so he might have switched the tires out too.
What? What are we gonna find?
Okay.
All right.
We're breaking and entering. All right.
Yep.
Oh, this would be easy to get jumped here.
Yep. God, this whole place is so creepy. Oh no. Like the coins? Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, dog's barking. Okay. Oh shit. Oh,
fun.
man. Oh shit.
I mean, is he going to see the cop car, though? That's...
Well, I think it's just his personal car right now. Oh my god. No. Is there gonna be a head in there?
Lass das fallen. Lass das fallen, hab ich gesagt. Ulrich.
Just pills?
Just a stash.
Da eins. Wir haben das zusammen gemacht. Erik und ich.
Oh.
Leute, die einen Schrott herbringen, dann findest du immer irgendwas. Erik hat auf einem Mofa gespart. Wo ist mein Junge?
Yeah.
Ich weiß es nicht, Jürgen.
I love that reveal that this was his son, you know, it's just... And he probably feels so shitty for, like, assuming, like, this guy would, you know, take his own son like that, but...
And yet... Oh my god.
Okay, so... Who are you?
What?
Who are you?
Wait, getting rid of the body that they found?
No. This might have been planting the body.
Oh.
See, we got to think about this not in terms of linear time. Like, this person feels like they're out of sync. They don't fit here. So they could have put the body there. Okay, what are they doing?
Cleaning their tracks.
Well, they had a box of some kind.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything that kind of shaped.
Da war was niemand von uns erzählen wollte.
Wie kommst du denn da drauf?
Vermisste ihn.
Ich glaube, ich vermisse eine Vorstellung von ihm. Eigentlich weiß ich gar nicht, wer er wirklich war.
I don't know who he really was. What?
Well, because if he ended everything.
Jemand wirklich ist.
And if she didn't see it coming, then.
Hast du ihn geliebt?
But he's got that. He's got that stuff in the attic. What do you mean they didn't know?
Yeah.
They didn't see this coming.
Unless she just never looked at his work.
No, that's stupid. No, she definitely could have potentially seen this coming.
Right. Even if she didn't see it in the moment, in hindsight, she'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's so obvious."
Right. Yeah. So maybe it's still right, but oh.
And then she wakes up.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh my god.
What is going on?
Oh my god.
It feels like it's a conspiracy, right? Like it feels like there's enough people moving around and doing things, but they also feel like they're all doing things individually.
And this is why you need to, when you, if, you know, or rather, not why you, in situations like this, so much of it comes down to the characters not communicating with each other, right?
But that's not where we're at right now. We're not even at that point right now. We're at people have secrets. People aren't aware of what the other prisoner is doing. They just know they're doing something.
Lügst mich nicht an. Egal was es ist.
Whoa. Whoa.
Damn.
Yeah,
it's all just a disappearing act. It's fine. What?
Someone's coming through.
Yeah, sketchy shit is happening
Or,
at the power
oh
plant.
no, he might be using that machine thing in his box.
Oh.
It's going over the entire town.
I mean, I'll bet that power plant is, you know...
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be...
What powers the town, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
Oh my God.
No! Just all the birds in the area just died.
Completely unaffects the humans, too.
At
least as far as we can
not.
see.
if that was Mikkel having like gotten sent back in time and then got back to the present?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna try and just cut through the door. Take a blowtorch or something.
Well, they're not actually making it clear who it is.
I feel like that's...
Oh. No.
Oh.
No, it's a kid. Oh my gosh.
And this is... This is not present day.
No, it's not.
So we're showing him coming out of there.
Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the cave at the exterior looked very different.
Uh-huh.
Fun.
Oh yeah, everything's so, like, undeveloped, relatively. Does he recognize the cars and the everything?
Yeah, see, everything's older.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, when would you ever see Honda on a bike like that?
Wer bist du?
Wieso? Wer bist du?
Mikkel. Ich wohne hier.
Ulrich. Und ich wohne hier.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That's so cool.
Du bist am falschen Haus.
Hey Ulrich! Komm, wir müssen los.
Ja, Katharina, ich komme ja schon.
Wow.
Du wohnst nicht hier.
What?
Wer ist denn das?
You're a kid.
Ist der tot? Sieht man doch.
Wow, and even the same kind of slap that like his older brother does to him.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, the episode right there.
All right, cool. All right, so that dude is definitely Mikko. Like, I'm almost certain. Like, I could be wrong.
He very much could be. He very much could be. But yeah, the thing that I think is the most interesting here is that this seems like it's something that the power plant people have achieved some measure of something.
Yep.
And so they're testing it on kids that they abduct.
Yep.
So that means that Mikkel's whole thing has potentially, like, everything to do with that or nothing to do with that. It could be that he's a successful experiment.
Or it's just someone stumbled into the experiment chamber.
While it was being used or something like that. Right. And so he ends up getting flung back to 1986, which is fun because 2019, 1986, 33 years ago. Yep, exactly, yep.
Okay,
so
this feels time travel.
Yeah,
but this feels like one of the more like, all right, now we have the more straightforward discussion, right? Because it's the story is starting to go from, oh my god, a million different possibilities, and now it's shown us one of the options that it's chosen, right?
And the main one that it's chosen right now is that kind of like what we were talking about at the end of the previous episode's discussion, is that there's going to be, at the very least, some reason as to why we'll see those very old pictures.
Right.
And 1986 being a time frame where we're going to see where everybody else is during that time, because that's the 33 years ago year. Cool. There's something that keys that to being not just important in the overall story, but specifically because Mikkel traveled to 1986.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that they confirm that, because it's like that's sort of they set it up with all the things up until then where it's like that's the vibe that we're getting, right? And having this mysterious new character that shows up, you know, and all that stuff, and like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Right?
we can't really know too much about him other than he's clearly main story related stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
and
He's in the know to an extent.
And he has awareness of the fact that people, I'm just going to say it right now, are definitely time traveling here.
Right, exactly.
And so if we have Mikkel being just the only one that we know about thus far, it's then the question of, okay, one, does time travel in this world only go one direction?
Sure.
Does time travel in this world have any kind of like splitting with regards to the narratives and the timelines? I'm just gonna say no. The way that they've set things up thus far, it probably doesn't. But things are gonna get really weird.
It probably
if
doesn't split the timelines, right? Is that what you're saying? Or?
Yeah, it probably doesn't. No.
Yeah, I don't think it does. I do think there is a possibility, though, that time travel only goes in the one direction, which is a way that you can basically, like, avoid the problem of, like, losing stakes and things like that, right? Where if time travel only goes one direction, then cool. You have some consistency. You have something that's fairly easy for the audience to latch onto, and it has permanent consequences, right?
It has very permanent consequences,
like, assuming that is Mikkel, right? It doesn't have to be, but, you know, for the purpose of exploring the stakes aspect, right? That meant that, oh my God, it took him the 33 years to get back to the point where then he could have the newspaper and be like, hey, look at the disappearing act I did, even if I didn't intend to. Cool. And then I'm going to write when is Mikkel, right?
Right.
You know, cool. Awesome, right?
Cool.
But that took like a third or half of his
years.
lifetime, you know, in order to be able to do that, right? And so, you know, it's not something where the time travel can just fix every problem or anything like that, right? Because you can't get around that. So,
right. So if you were a time traveled kid into the 80s, no one's going to believe that you're a time traveled kid, right?
Right.
Because one, you have nothing on you that can prove that necessarily.
Nah.
But two, another thing is you're a kid. But the scary thing about this is, how do you survive? How do you then continue forth in such a way?
Oh, yeah.
And live.
Right.
So the part that I want to know, if they're going to get into this here, is that if you have people that are, because of what they're doing, probably at the nuclear power plant, given that the guy who's the director there had Jurgen being like, hey, we can't have them snooping around here.
Right, you got to fix this.
You got to fix this and stuff. Means then that they've done this for a decent amount of time.
Right.
If they've done this for a decent amount of time, how many times has it been successful?
Yeah.
I would assume that the kid being deposited out there is kind of an equivalent of, this is a failure. This is just an example of things there. But the fact that it was put out there feels almost like whoever this mystery person is trying to make the actions of the plant more obvious.
Oh.
Like they're trying to undermine them in some way. But in order to get that body, they'd probably have had to grab it from the plant.
Right.
Which, to me, sets the idea of a story having a beginning and end that we're kind of aware of, but there's a lot of middle that we don't know about.
So if we, because I believe it was the new person that put the body there.
Yes.
So if that's Mikkel, that solves the motivation thing.
Well, right. Well, it could be anybody that doesn't like the fact that kids are being experimented on, but they can't go to the police with it.
Yeah, exactly. So what we would need for that person is motivation and the possibility of doing so, right? So for them to be in the know enough in order to do that kind of thing.
And I've already got the motivation, dude.
Yeah.
They want to undermine what the plant is doing with kids. They know about that, and they want to basically sabotage that in some way.
No, I'm not talking about it from that sense. I'm talking about why do they want to sabotage it? Is it just because
it's a bad thing?
No, but if there's a specific, relation to it, most people would try and do that, right? But, there's the...
obviously there's going to be who they are, and we'll get to that, but I'm saying this covers all the bases. We're just going under the umbrella of they want to sabotage because if the plant is disposing of kids basically in a way with experiments and stuff like that, they'd incinerate these kids. They'd never let them They'd never let them get taken in such a way that would do this.
Yeah.
So either the kids are being temporally displaced in such a way that they
don't have the bodies
the
anymore.
bodies anymore, right? Or someone is literally going in and stealing the bodies.
Yes.
Which seems extremely unlikely.
Right. And so the thing that we could gather about this person is that with them being in the know, it's not just that experiments are happening, but I'm talking like they're in the know with regards to the inner workings of the power plant to a pretty impressive degree,
right?
To be able to get the kid's body and things like
if
that.
they're a time traveler, if they're somebody that's already like got the perspective of basically having been around for decades longer and stuff, they could have little things and tricks and stuff that they do.
Where my mind goes is if it is Mikkel and he's like, oh, something crazy happened, and he's able to piece together that it's because of the power plant as he's like growing up or something, right?
Sure.
He ends up basically just being like, all right, I'm going to get a job at the power plant, right? And it's like, oh yeah, this person's been working here for decades, right? You know, and then it's like, cool. And then I start to learn everything about what, you know, maybe even from when it started happening, you know.
Potentially.
And then it's the, he can do something.
Now it's the question of, is this basically the same person that had the same kind of cloak and coat and everything of someone that was doing the experiment, or is that a generic coat that they use when they experiment on the kids?
I think it's a little of both, because they were definitely with the Ulrich's dad. They were very much setting up the, oh hey, he's got a coat that's, you know, that gives him that same kind of silhouette, you know. Not
but
that
it was different, though.
Right, it was different, but it's that just sort of to make things, you know, sort of spoopy in our minds, right? Where we're like, oh, okay, what's going on? It's,
I'm not trying to make a presumption as to why they made that connection, but I see where you get that.
Okay, it gave me the vibe of the similar kinds of things of like when you have the scary camera angles while someone's exploring, right? Ulrich ended up being fine, but it's the manipulating our perceptions of it to then have all of that tension and things like that. And so I think that the person experimenting on the kids, I don't think it's going to be this new guy that's out here. But
I mean, for right now, there's no other hints we have other than it's him. Yeah, and it'd also be a means by which he would actually have access to the kids. You said yourself he probably works at the power plant.
Yeah, and
so
so
by definition he's aware of the experiments.
Right, and I guess if you know that stuff's happening, in a lot of ways, even though this could get into some really like fucked up territory where then, oh hey, you're doing all the heinous shit that you're trying to stop. But it's in order to have control of the situation so that theoretically I can intervene, I need to be the one actually doing all of it.
Right.
So that way, you know, I can rescue the kids or get the remains of the kids out of there or whatever.
But then this gets into the other fun thing here is hey, can you actually change the past by going into the past? Or is it that, no, time is not linear. By going into the past, you were always in the past. The spot that you're in or what have you and all of that, it's all done. It's all locked in. There is no like
time is static.
Yeah. So there's no like point where it's the like, oh, you were in the past and then you weren't. No. The instant you were in the past there, you were always in the past.
And that's something where I would love to see them get into it in like a...
Well, I think that's why Jonas's dad went mad, is a lot of the stuff that he seemed to be looking at was stuff about things looping, about things being
it's the
infinite and trying to make sense of it all.
Sure, and when I think of like someone offing themselves, generally that's because they're in despair. Right? It's they cannot deal with
tried so
something.
hard,
right?
They got so far,
and it just doesn't matter, right? And so it's the okay, that could be in the tortured, starving artist kind of a thing, sure, and maybe that's what people thought at the beginning, right? And oh my god, all these dark drawings and stuff or paintings. But then, if it ends up being something where it's he realizes how the whole time travel thing works. He's like, oh my god, all this horrible stuff has been happening.
He's trying to stop things that might happen in the future.
And then he realizes, oh, I actually can't. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too
dark.
much. That's dark. That's too much, right? And so I don't want to be here anymore, right? That is a definite possibility. But if it ends up being something like that, or regardless of what the rules for the time travel in the show end up being, I'm excited to see it get explored from the like clinical scientific perspective, given that we have a lot of characters that theoretically would be exploring that side of things. Because
like who?
I feel like a lot of the adult characters could be like primed to do that since they're trying to figure out a mystery. So once it becomes actually like confirmed to them that all this wild stuff is happening, then those questions could start.
Oh, I thought you were
posited.
meaning like some of them were scientists and stuff, and I'm like, none of them are scientists.
That could end up happening. Well, the only reason I'm keeping my options open for that is just because not with any of the established characters, but because the power plant exists, and so if it's something where people are actively doing the experiments for that sort of thing, then it could theoretically get brought up.
No, totally. But they're the bad people right now.
Right. Yeah. So there isn't a reason for that to happen.
Right. So why
now.
would they explain the?
Well, the reason why I'm excited for that happening, if it does happen, is that depending on what flavor the time travel goes, that's one of the ways in which you can make sure that it stays satisfying to the audience, because there are lots of different ways to do time travel, and so you want to make sure that it's the one way that you're doing time travel.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't get, mixed up with multiple.
No, totally. I think, though, that in some ways the characters are not primed to understand the time travel well, but that will make it so that the time travel gets explained very slowly, and it's not in some exposition dump or something of someone's like, I get exactly how it works. It's more no, we're going to spiral out with all these ways in which it doesn't. And then at the very, I'm guessing, way later on in the series, it'll, coalesce into a more clear picture.
Sure.
And right now, the reason why we're showing that it's time traveling back is because time traveling back is just the instigation of the drama. It is not the actual, solution or anything. And thus the drama will come about because we have we're potentially doubling up on people existing in this town at different points.
That was the character that could theoretically explain it that's been introduced. The Mikhail, not Mikhail guy with the crazy machine thing.
Oh yeah, of course. But for some reason he's not wanting himself to be seen or noticed or what have you.
Yeah, because
he's acting like a time traveler where he walks around with I have a box and I have a mission and I'm going and I'm doing this thing here.
Right.
I put the kid here.
I can't bring other people into this because they wouldn't get it, and then that would fuck everything up, and maybe I took 33 years to get here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I very much think that there's a high chance that he's Mikhail. I do like the idea of exploring an angle of Mikhail's story individually in 1986.
Yeah.
But I think what's more potentially interesting is given the grounding of this series in the time is not linear. You know, we think time is linear, but then they had all the images on the wall, and it's so why do you have pictures from all these different, stages of these people's lives?
It's because they're all going to be relevant.
Yeah. Well, no, not that they're all going to be relevant, but those times in their lives, those specific times.
Right, those pictures, not just the person that is in the picture.
Right, when they were at that point, that's relevant.
Right.
The idea that 1986 is now a big year because it's been focused on in the first episode as far as hinted at with the 33 years thing. But now it's extremely important in that Mikhail hopped back here, and the point that he hopped back here is very that's crazy, because I would expect if you're experimenting with time travel and stuff, you have no grid on when they're going or anything like that.
Oh yeah, of course not. Yeah.
So the idea that the incidents of things could be lined up with when people were,
What if that's the reason why they're
warped back to?
experimenting on kids? Because they're like, okay, if they go into the future, we have no control over that, right? If they go into the past, though, we don't want them to be someone that's old because we don't know how far they'll go back.
Right.
So we want them to be a kid so that they could theoretically at least live long enough to get back to this time.
It also seems like a controlled experiment in that the kids all seem to be around the age of 12 when this happens, which means that, if we think about it, what does a 12-year-old have on any other age?
Yeah.
They're young enough that they're going to live a long time, but they're old enough that
they can survive on their own.
They can think. They can be pretty smart.
Right. They'll remember that this happened and not have it just become some weird memory that gets malleable, smushed over. Yeah.
But and this is the part where I'm really I'm really feeling like it's going to be something along these lines as well. Is that
Mm-hmm.
what can get really fucky, and yes, very important choice of words there, is that if you have kids that are going back when they're 12 and stuff, what happens when they turn 15, 16, 17, 18,
grandfather
19?
paradox. Yeah.
Exactly what I was talking about in episode 1 is that we're going to have multiple DNA strands colliding with each other in a way that could get really weird.
Yes.
and really,
especially with how small this town is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Like just the thing of like, hey, we're just going right there. Of it's not that it's someone else's house or anything. No. It's still your dad's house.
Yeah.
But guess what?
He's a kid.
He's a high schooler.
Yeah,
like,
he's
there
a teen. dating your mom right there.
Right, exactly. And you're just like, huh. Okay. Like,
in fact, it's so wonderfully like helpful and convenient that it's the like, this town is so small that when I go back there, my dad's right there.
Yeah, you'll still kind of know all the variables, right?
Right.
It's not going to be something completely different. Where like, if it's like,
oh, they moved, you know?
Yeah,
it's
like you go back in time 33 years in Seattle, right? Like, oh, well, all right, good luck, son. You know, like there's gonna be nothing familiar, you know.
Right. So then, the part that makes me like really, really wigged out though is, what about the old people? Because the old people then would have been the adults 33 years ago, right? But, and this is where I'm like.
Yeah,
really
if you go back
out about this.
You go back in another time.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you're getting real close
to the origin of the nuclear power plant.
Right, you're getting back to some very interesting times in particular.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What? Because I could see all the drama that could come from a story like this. But I don't see honestly where the plot goes.
Well, and that's what
we've got the premise
right,
pretty
exactly.
well established.
And that's what I wanted to bring up about this episode and why I thought it was fun and sort of like okay, cool. The episode 2s for the weird shows tend to be nice little breaks is because you introduce all the weird in the first episode or a lot of the weird so that way they know what to expect, right?
And then you introduce the characters in the second episode.
Yeah, then you basically right, like as far as what actually happened in this episode, not a lot. Like okay, we followed a lead.
We introduced a few new characters.
And we followed a lead that didn't really go anywhere. And then we confirmed that Mikhail got sent back in time, right? That communicates more about the premise, right? And here's exactly where we're going. Right. But this was basically hey, let's solidify the foundation. Things got real weird. We want to make sure that we don't lose you. And so, all right, let's go. We understand the emotions of the characters given what's happened. We understand some of the conflicts. We have a potential main antagonist. And here we go. Right.
The main thing that I could see with the plot is that there's some way we're going to try and save people basically from either getting abducted, dying, or something like that. Because that's generally what happens when you go back in time is then you end up with the perspective of maybe I can save somebody, I can change something or what have you. But the part that just looms in the back of my mind in such a terrifying way is the old guy in the first episode, like walking out of his place, just being like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And it's like, well, what if he's just another person that wanted to try and stop something and he was sent back so far that it completely fucked with his head. And now he's thinking, no, right, there was something I was supposed to do. And now he's freaking out like, oh my gosh, it's going to happen.
And, well, okay, so, all right.
And he can't change it.
I want to try and do some mental math here. All right. Mikhail going back 33 years. Makes sense. And if he's the new character that's introduced, cool. That's very straightforward.
Sure.
But if you have old people that are old in the present, how does that work with time travel stuff? That makes me think that they never time traveled because if we have the pictures of them way old time, then they wouldn't have had time to time travel, right?
You can't.
No,
can't.
Because if they either they're real old or they were able to kind of get from wherever the starting time was to now. right?
Yes, by just living.
Right, but if you basically no, right, but okay, assuming vaguely equal units between the different times, right?
Why are we assuming they always have to go back 33 years?
No, they don't. But okay, yeah, no, they don't. And so they could see like a crazy time thing where they go back like, you know, a day or forward a week or something.
Well, no, this is where it gets really crazy. Is you can be sent back to multiple points. You could have someone be like sent back, right?
Are you talking like the Prestige kind of a thing where it's like it's effectively like because you're getting sent back in time, it could theoretically also make a copy of your body and all that stuff.
Well, that's the question, right? Is this you're fully transporting the body?
Right, because it seems like they're fully transporting the body. It would have been real weird if Miko was still there and then another Miko showed up.
That's not what's happening.
That's not what's happening.
Yeah. But I'm saying that theoretically, the time travel stuff is still there because it's in the power plant. The power plant is the constant, if you will. So you could time travel back and then go back to the power plant with the knowledge, basically, and then get sent back even further.
Yes. And that's where I could see the old person, like an old person that's in the present that has time travel stuff.
Because they could have time traveled multiple times.
Right, because they could have been from the 33 years ago time.
Sure.
They get to the power plant, they get sent back, and then they have to do it all over again.
That
could still totally happen, but...
that
would totally fuck with your head. But I think an older person would be able to maybe deal with that a little bit better. You'd have a bit more tools and things like that.
No, I get that, but you'd have multiple of yourself out there.
Yeah,
like
and
at the same time.
Oh, sure, and that could get very interesting. Yeah. It's gonna be wild. I like how they're doing this, and I think that this was the other bit of information that we probably have. Is that given that we have the dead body of the boy, and that this seems to be
a new kid.
It's a new kid,
is,
but the power plant is doing experimentation. This is new stuff. They haven't fully figured it out, right?
Why? Why is it new? Why is it they've never figured it out?
Not that they've never, but they didn't have it figured out 33 years ago. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that.
Okay, I that's a supposition.
It's a supposition.
Okay.
But
what is the thing in this episode that's making you think this way? What is your thing you're springing off of so I can follow you?
Because as far as the amount of time that the power plant would have been doing its thing, and the fact that once they decide to start doing these experiments and things like that, it would take a long time to get there. One of the things that they were talking about is the idea of seeing through. Like in the video, it's talking about we're going to see if we can see through a black hole in order to whatever. That's not talking about sending a person through there. That's talking about like sending light through a black hole.
No, obviously, Jacob. But it's the thing of that all that says is that's the thing of how they're experimenting here.
No, totally. But hear me out. If that's a video that was made, and I'm guessing that video was probably, given the look of the video, that was probably made around the time that Miko got sent back to. Right?
Okay, could have been earlier.
But certainly not like the 50s, right?
No, because TVs, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, at best it would have been black and white or something. But if we have a general timeline for the development of the thing that is making all this weird stuff happen, then that means that people probably aren't going to be sent back in time until they get to around this time, right? So like, you know, like people in the 80s probably aren't going to be sent back in time. They might get experimented on, but they're probably not going to get sent back in time.
I disagree. I think that there's a possibility of some very scary stuff. The kinds of people that get sent back in time allow the people that know about the time stuff to accelerate the time-related stuff.
Sure, and if that's the case, then we're in a time travel does affect... Like you are affecting the timeline by traveling through time.
Well, there's again, there's the difference of whether you're always having some constants with regards to the time-related stuff here, or it's the, hey, even if you do go back and you change things up or what have you, that's just how it always was. That's the nightmare, is that you're stuck in this hell. You can't actually, like, do anything there. And if we're going for the more like what?
All right, so I've got a thought. Okay, so with the two different kinds of things, if time is static versus if things can be changed, right? if the time is static, then that makes there be this sort of like dark irony for all the people doing the experimentation with time travel, because it's like, well, hey, guess what? If you have some big thing like, you know, the guy that's heading up the power plant, if there's some big thing that he's like, I want to be able to go back and change this from happening,
or give the information to somebody that they can then
exactly. It's like, hey, sorry, great, you did this thing, but it actually doesn't change anything, right? You know, so good job, you know.
Sure.
Or you get into the more traditional stuff of now how can we kind of navigate having access to time travel in order to fix all the problems created by time travel.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Right. No, I think we're absolutely going to have things be changeable.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's why
I think so, too.
This is why these stories are told, generally. Yeah. You can have certain things feel like they're locked in, but I think the reason for that is going to be the human drama. The human drama of having to deal with all this.
Yeah.
And that's when you can save those big, like, planned kind of things that we're talking about for more the end of the series, when it's people that do know how this works, do know what they can do.
Ooh. And that's also why I think it's something where the time travel is a more semi-recent development, because since time travel is tied to the conflict of the story, then you want it to be something where, like, the conflict is sort of in tandem with the time travel. Otherwise, the time travel just becomes sort of this
window dressing.
Yeah, this window, either a window dressing or something that just sort of magically fixes everything, right?
Yeah.
And so by having it be something where, like, people are figuring it out as they're wrestling with the mystery, rather than like people from the future that just, we have perfect time travel.
Everything.
We know everything and we come back and whatever, you know, right? That's not as fun, you know?
Right. And that's why I think that this is something that they've been fucking with for a while.
Yes.
And the actual results of it are very hard to be able to track, because if you have somebody being sent back to the past, what's going to be your thing here? Do you just like remind yourself to constantly be on the lookout for people that generally look like this? I mean, well, that's why you put pictures on a wall with yarn and string next to them.
Yep.
That is one of the things there. But again, you even if you're experimenting on it for 20 years and stuff, you're not going to have any way of giving your past self any kind of, preparation for
unless
when the weird kid shows up and being like, where's my mom and dad, you know?
Right, yeah, the most that you could get maybe is a kid that figures things out pretty well and then shows up and says, hey, in the future, it's me. I figured out that in the future, you're the one who did this. Right. So let's talk and figure this out, because this is a problem.
Right.
And it's both our problem now, you know?
Yeah. So I think that that's going to be more along the lines of what we're dealing with here, is that things will be changed, but it will not be through some grand design. It's going to be through the human drama.
Right, we have
people grappling with
exactly.
this,
we have a very grounded show right now with very human characters, and so of course, it's going to be something like that. You know, that's the beauty of it. You can have all the weird craziness with just regular people that are like, oh my God, my brother is probably dead right now. Maybe because of me.
We're basically done with the discussion here, but I just wanted to throw out the thing of, it's also now starting to get me a little bit twisty in a way that Jonas's visions, his dreams, his nightmares are starting to now seem like, wait.
Whose memories are these?
Yeah, wait, whose memories are these?
Yeah, like at some point he gets experimented on to see through the black hole, but then it doesn't mean that like, who's to say
that
just
he's already in the past at some point.
Oh.
Meaning like he's already like, done some things.
Yeah, you could definitely do that, especially since he is one of the like main characters, you know? I was just gonna say that what if you got the thing of like, cool, you managed to see through the black hole, but who's to say that it just goes one way? Like if you see beyond the bounds of time, who's to say that the information that gets passed back is getting passed back to you in this point in time?
Well, there's I don't want to go into the Einstein stuff that I don't know anything really about. But there is a theory specifically with regards to the light and the way it is. Yeah, basically
wibbly wobbly.
There's some stuff there. I'll have to go and look it up. But I remember basically the discussion of time travel in our actual real world being brought up by Einstein and how it would actually have to work. So this could be just that's actually exactly how it works in this world here with black holes. It's the way in which light does or doesn't escape, basically that. And And light is our only way of defining things in their place, because everything we see is a reflection of light, not actual matter. In fact, most matter is just gaps of stuff that are vibrating together to create all. Anyway, all that stuff to say, this is going to get really exciting and really funky and fun. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about other shows in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.